Alright, hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. This is late. People are wondering, where's the Bleach review? Where's the Bleach review? So, here it is. Bleach review. I believe this was, damn it, 527. Stupid fucking chair. This one, originally, I was like, you see this, Kubo? 2 seconds in your face. But I took a look at the manga stream translation, and I read it, and I said to myself, okay, that makes more sense. Still only giving this a 3.5 out of 5. For obvious reasons. Now, for all intents and purposes, it looks like Unohana is dead. I'm upset, but it could have been a lot worse. A lot worse. Now, this one was called Elimination from Heaven. Eliminated from Heaven. Which looks like has to do with Ichigo. But let's get into the spiel. At the beginning, we got, Unohana saying that it was splendid. Kenpachi Zaraki, with this, we can finally have a proper closure. And pretty much Zaraki takes the sword out of her body that he stabbed her with, his sword, his Zanpakuto. And he's saying, you're gonna die, are you? Don't die, I haven't had my fill. I'm begging you, don't die, I'm begging you. And he's screaming, don't die. And then she says, I think she was saying, she calls him cute. I don't know where that came from. And says, you're still the child that I met. And saying you don't need to mourn. And saying that you were able to make short work of me after awakening your true power. And downside of this is that most of your fights are going to be trivial nuisances to you. And saying that he's going to have foes to fight and friends to bicker with. But most importantly, you can build your friendship, build your relationship with your partner. And she's obviously talking about his Zanpakuto. And saying going on, entire legacy is now in your hands to give. And saying that the title of Kenpachi now belongs to the rightful owner. My death may be nigh, Kenpachi, but it's time for you to rejoice. And then she's like saying that she's having a blissful joy even in death. Finally, I fulfilled that into one motion all those years ago. And that's when he starts hearing a voice. He's like, who the fuck are you? Kenpachi Zaraki, Kenpachi Zaraki. And this voice happens to be his Zanpakuto. And he's saying, I'm the one who constant eye on you, and so on and so forth. And he's basically saying to him, it's a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance, Kenpachi Zaraki. I am. And this is where I get like, and when I first saw this, I was like, I am. Title page. Kuma did this once before with Grimjow. He didn't. He left it. He didn't show Hellas anything. So now it says, I am, and then you go, boop. Someone saying like, boop. Now, so this wasn't like to me it was a slap in the face, kind of, but not really. Now you're probably wondering why I'm giving this only a 3.5. Well, the first part was great. And when I first read this, the second part made me saying, get the fuck out. So I says, I am, and then furthermore, it says, eliminate from heaven. Then we go into the Phoenix, creator of the Zanpakuto, and he's saying it's been 3 days, 3 nights, and he's saying to Renji, you got the skills to pay the bills. But he's talking. He's like, he calls Ichigo Wack. I was like, what? This manga stream translation was so ghetto. No pun intended. I apologize if I offended anyone with that, with what I just said. But saying you got the skills to pay the bills, Renji-chan, but he says to Ichigo, you got served. I was like, what? This translation had me in stitches. In stitches. Literally. And he says he got served, Ichigo-chan, and he says to him, Ichigo's like saying, go give me a sec, I can keep going. You never said it was a time limit. And then he's saying, that's not happening. This translation has me in stitches. That was some epic fail. So whack. I know I shouldn't be laughing, but this translation is unbelievable. So basically he's telling him that. And he says, I may be true, but my patience has reached its limit. You've gone beyond whether or not you're capable of doing it. Fact is, the Alsichi deems you unworthy. It's as simple as that. It's out of my hand. Game, set, match. Whack, so whack. And he says to Ichigo, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I'm like, no, that's so crazy. And he calls Ichigo a wankster. A wankster. I'm like, no, that is too much. That is too much. And he says, the least I can do is show you the way out. Get out of here. Go home. Now, when I first read this, I wanted to punch the fucking wall. Because when he said, Utsu, Phoenix, creator of Sanbakuto, go home, I thought, he's going to Karakura Town? But then I saw the full extent of this when I read this on Manga Stream. Now, I'm convinced he is not going home, Ichigo. If he's going home, prepare for a real huge rant next week for the chapter. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. Let's get on with the summary here. Tells him to go home, and then he says, Melochan, show him the door, and he says, don't do this. And one last thing, he says, don't ever show your ugly mug in the Soul Society ever again. It's only a place for Shinigami, not some Zanbakuto-less human. Get in where you fit in. And I think it's Melochan. She's saying, what an ass. And Ichigo's like saying, I came all this way. You're going to leave me just that. What will happen to my Zanbakuto when I leave? Not a problem. It ain't going to get fixed either way. Or rather, I can't be asked to fix him. And he's saying, I don't supply Poser Shinigami with my blades. And then Ichigo's like, screw you! And he just sends him. He does this, he makes a portal. And he sends Ichigo away. Like, and then I'm like, what? Jesus. And then he says, have a pleasant trip, Ichigo-chan. And the next page, final page of the chapter says, you need to step up your game, Ichigo-chan. Asachi deemed you unworthy, which means you've been able to hold your own through this entire time without Osuchi's aid. Do you truly understand the repercussions of that? It's time for you to start from the ground up again. You need to crawl before you can walk. And if that means never coming here again, then so be it. And on the side it says, what makes him different? What's not enough? Ichigo's roots. Now, I'm going to keep this clear and simple. If Ichigo was sent to Karakura Town, I'm going to scream bloody murder. I'm going to curse Kubo. And, furthermore, I actually might take a break from Bleach for 1 week. However, after seeing Taking's review and reading the manga stream, that's not going to happen. I do not think he sent him to Karakura Town. That is a big slap in the face. That is stupid. That is retarded. Instead, this is what I think happened. Utsu, Phoenix, sent him to several places. One, he sent him into the past. Or two, he sent him probably to, I guess, Soul Reaper Academy. I mean, I doubt he sent him to Karakura Town. That is a huge, big slap in the face to everyone who reads Bleach. And it's like fucking bullshit. Like, this second half pissed me off. It really did. Because I'm like, Ichigo. Bitch! This chapter made Ichigo look like a total bitch. It was like, you fail, get the fuck out. That's what it was like. And I'm like, he failed? Isn't he the main character in the story? Unbelievable. Now, as far as the first part's concerned, well, you know, I don't want to say troll, but, I mean, Unohana is kind of dead, and we still don't know Zaraki's name, to be Zanbakuto. We'll get it, though, eventually. And that's why I'm giving it 3.5. But I am telling you guys right now, next week, and this whole thing with Ichigo just, oh, you failed, get the fuck out of here. You're not a Soul Reaper anymore, so get the fuck out of here. I'm like, so, what the fuck is he supposed to do? He doesn't have a Zanbakuto. Where's he gonna go? To the Soul Society Academy? He's gonna go there? And train? For what? It's so ridiculous. That is... I'm sorry, but that is so ridiculous. And he says, oh, you need to find your... It says in the chapter, it says roots. This better be something monumental for Ichigo. Because at the moment, Ichigo is whack. He's a wankster. He's whack. And he's a punk. That's basically what he is. It's like, he's not a Soul Reaper. Where? And he's not, if that means not showing here up again. I swear to God, I am not joking around here. Kubo, you motherfucker. You better not have sent Ichigo better not be in Karakura Town. If he's in Karakura Town, I swear to God, I'm not reviewing the chapter. That's a guarantee. I will not review that chapter. Because you know why? It's stupid. He better be rather in the Soul Society in the past, or at some point he learns at a Soul Society Academy. Because that's the only way I could see it happening. That he learns the ways of a Soul Reaper through Soul Society Academy. That's the gist. That's the only way I could see it happen. Because the whole gist is that not being accepted by the Osochi is saying that you're not a Soul Reaper. You see? You don't have the connection with the Zanbakuto. Now this might have to do with the fucking Quincy bullshit, but who knows? And like I said before, I better not find out next week. Next week, next chapter, if Ichigo is sent to Karakura Town, I'm not reviewing that chapter. I'm dead serious. It'll be a fucking rant. Yeah, a rant. And I won't review that chapter, and I'll just do a rant. But if it's not, and he's actually in somewhere else, let's say he is in the Soul Society. Let's say he is trying to learn Zanbakuto through the Academy, or somewhere else. I'm like, okay, that's great. That's stupendous. Nah. But, you know, that this chapter I just thought that the first half was good. Aside from trolling with the whole name of the Zaraki Zanpakuto. I'm upset about the whole Unohana thing, but if she's dead, she's dead. I'm not gonna make a huge big deal about it. But I'm pissed, but not that pissed. Because Zaraki has got his name now for Zanpakuto, which is great. So, even though we don't know it now. But as far as Ichigo's concerned, next week, he's in Karakura Town. Rant. If not, no more review. But that's all I got for you guys. This gets a 3.5. It was alright. It was okay. The whole thing with Ichigo just pissed me off. And this is 16 minutes now. I just don't want to see... That totally just came out of nowhere. And I'm like, he has no Zanpakuto. What the fuck? And it just feels... It was for nothing. If he is sent to Karakura Town next week, it feels to me that it was for nothing. For nothing. But I don't think that's what the case is. It's probably going to be him going to the past, or somewhere else, where he learns the way of the Zanpakuto through, because he says crawl before you walk. That was the gist on that. So yeah. This has been Bankai 922. I'll see you guys later. Ichigo is a wankster. He's whack. Ichigo's whack. Lame ass wankster. See ya.